Hello, good evening. Good to see everyone. Welcome on in. I know it's been quite a while since I've been able to come on, and I wanted to come on this evening and talk about some things to do with why I've been absent. Um, a lot of you already know that the end of May, the 24th of May, my father passed away. Um, he and I weren't extremely close, but we were caring of each other. Um, Talked a couple of times a year, just, hi, how's it going? So on and so forth. Last year, found out he had a brain tumor, was put in for surgery. Um, he chose to have surgery. Doctors told him that it was, you know, not a good prognosis. Um, Needless to say, his body just never recovered after he had the brain surgery. He passed away. That afternoon, I got a phone call from a family member and told summarily that in one breath, my dad had passed away and all of his affairs were now in my lap. And it knocked me on my ass. And I'm going to cuss tonight. And hopefully she doesn't get flagged. I will try to be nice about it. But yeah, it knocked me on my ass. Um, that kind of emotional bombshell is overwhelming at best. And then add to it that I'm a very empathic person. Add to that that I have fibromyalgia, which highly affects your serotonin levels, your dopamine levels, as well as a myriad of other issues. And the way the phone call went, I felt like I was being yelled at by a drill sergeant. Now, we've since talked and we've worked that out. That it basically put me into an anxiety attack, a state of fight or flight, um, for over a week. One phone call. Needless to say, I started making phone calls, what I could, trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing? Because he had no will. Um, his property where he was renting had several months back rent that if I wanted to make sure that his stuff was distributed instead of just thrown in a dumpster, I was responsible for that back rent. It cost me $1,200 just for the cremation and death certificates. Between the back rent and that, that was over half our monthly income in one fell swoop. I since had to pay another month's rent, um, trying to get things settled long distance is more than just overwhelming. When you have the condition that I have, and then add to it the anxiety attacks, panic attacks that can happen, I have to really be careful not to freeze. But I also have to pay attention to what my body is doing. If you have problems with bodily functions, here's part where you might want to tune yourself out. because I'm going to lay it down for folks. When I go through something that stressful and it has continued, okay, I get this phone call and now I've got this monkey to deal with, and I get this phone call, I've got this monkey to deal with. And each time that triggers a adrenaline dump in my body that sets off what's called irritable bowel syndrome. In my case, the cramping, gut cramping, is as though I'm passing a ball covered in razor blades. The cramping itself is so severe, it will make me vomit. And this can go on for hours at a time. When it finally subsides, I'm now dealing with the fibromyalgia flare of an entire body that has spent the last hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in a constant state of charley horsing from the back of my neck all the way down to my knees. When I am in that much pain, I can't talk to my husband, let alone come on here and talk to all of you. There's just no way in hell. There was some concern that maybe Gemma had said or done something, and that's why I hadn't been on. Tell you right now, I'd like to talk to the people personally who gave her that idea. They thought that I had been fired by her and were being nasty to her. I'd like to talk to them because that's not how we treat each other in this community. That is not how we support each other in this community. Yeah, we might get mad at each other, and sometimes we have to sit down and really think out our words and open up to each other, and then we move on. But without knowing all of the facts, you don't go sending messages, sending emails, what have you, when you don't know the whole scope of a situation. If I'm not here and you think something's happened, or maybe somebody's done something, it's not like it's that hard to find me. Ask me directly. Hey, Lara, are you okay? What's going on, Pixie? Because I don't need the extra stress. Gemma doesn't need the extra stress. She's struggling, I'm struggling, and we're all just trying to build community. My goals are different from her goals. They're different from Stephen's goals. So let's take a step back. When instead of being accusatory when someone hasn't been around, and say, gee, I wonder if they're okay. Maybe I should reach out. And then it goes the other way. If you're struggling, make sure you find somebody that you can reach out to. If you are having a hard time and really need the help, There are hotlines that you can call and people that will listen to you. There are people in this community that you can message or send an email to. You know, I'm lucky. I have a husband who's been very supportive through this whole thing. Quiet, yeah, but that's his way. He's a very sciencey kind of guy. But he listens and he supports me. And even though I beat myself up for an entire evening when I found out that I had to spend in one check almost a third of our monthly income. And then I have to tell my husband that, yeah, my father that I didn't really know that well, guess what? So it's important to really step back and think about these things. Take your time with them before you go jumping to conclusions. Okay? I love you guys. Um, the folks here on YouTube, you become a second family to me. And I'm, you know, pretty easygoing, but I can also be the mother bear. You don't want me. You don't want me in bear mode. Okay? So let's be nice to each other. Let's help each other, support each other. Um, Gemma already knows, of course, I was on Heidi's show. Uh, Another one in this community of misfits on YouTube that I met that, she is a very high vibe person, just like her show, which is a tiny little show. She doesn't have but a handful of viewers. I think she's only been on YouTube doing anything for less than a year. But, she and I also have a lot in common. And I'm taking my shoes off, getting more comfortable. We, have talked a lot in the chat rooms and have very similar views on life, um, how to live a good life and be happy, uh, spirituality, paranormality, um, the phenomenon, UFOs, whatever. We had very similar views. And she was sweet enough to ask me to come on her show. And, she's, it, it's a lot like this. It's a chillaxing chat. It's a let me get to know you and you get to know me. It was actually our first time getting to see um, each other face to face, live in, YouTube land, which was great. And I had a wonderful time. Look forward to getting to know her even more. There's a number of other people, a lot of you already know them, that I'm interested, in getting to know better and have asked me to, maybe come on their channel, get to know them better, so on and so on and so on. So I have Jupiter, Tom. I need to get back with him and see, you know, with what I've got going. Still have a lot of paperwork to deal with, and what he's got going. We'll get there eventually. And then a lot of you know Castle Dude, Neil Warden. Uh, he and I've got to be good friends. He is an absolute goofball, um, but a very sweet, open-minded person. And he started doing his own little thing on his YouTube channel. One, he's got the castle tours that he does, which I absolutely love. But then he started doing a sort of a, let's get to know each other stream. And so, he actually invited me. I thought it was very sweet to do so. So I'm looking forward to that, getting to know new people, make new friends, bring this community together. I'm going to be talking to my mentor, my friend, Sarah. She's actually started back up. Um, will be instating as of next week, I believe, or the week after. She's got a YouTube channel, Sarah Lemos. Um, a Monday morning, early morning, uh, just a, like a high five hangout, a lot like what I do. Um, maybe chit chat with people. It's, who knows? It's possible I might even end up hopping on there with her and might end up inviting her over here. Um, and recommend Gemma, back and forth, that kind of thing. But if you're interested in checking out a little bit more about the lady that has really helped with my psychic development, my mediumship development, uh, sort of honing my skills, go check out her channel. Um, a lot of you know Midwest Night Watchers, Gerald and Jane. And I have to really watch myself now because thanks to Neil, our castle dude, I want to say Gerald and Gain. Goofball. Love him. But, and they're another, couple, they're good people. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but they're good people. And a lot of good people hang out in their chat. A lot of people you already know. Um, but yeah, we need to work on this community. Right now, it's going to be a rough summer as far as it goes with energy and emotions. And people are ready to snap. There is something big coming. And there's a lot of us, like myself, who can't put our finger on it. It's almost like, it's, okay, going back to my nerd days. The Star Trek movie where Picard and Kirk meet each other, the two captains of the Enterprise. And there's this thing called the Nexus. That's another channel, another story for later. But you have this energy wave that is working its way towards Earth under roll cost. And it's almost like we're feeling this energy wave that, is far off in our galaxy that's rolling towards us. Um, what's coming with it? I don't know. It could just be that because of the synchronicity of things, the tilt of the planet, the change in our environment, just the cycle that Gaia goes through, solar flares, so on and so on and so on, that those of us that are more sensitive we're feeling it more. Like feeling an earthquake, kind of feeling it more. But I know that it's going to be a time where we really need to strengthen our community, open our minds up. Um, like my grandmother, my mom taught me, when it comes to other people and their opinions about the paranormal, their opinions about the supernatural, the UFOs, the cryptids, spirituality, religion, all of that. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Don't stir the pot. Don't be mean. Don't be funny. Don't be crude. Don't make backhanded jokes, because every single one of those things is a type of bullying, whether you realize it or not, whether you believe it or not. It is. It's just that simple. And so, for instance, this talk that I'm doing right now, if you don't agree with me, if you don't believe me, you can just say, sorry, Lara, I don't believe you. Or you're not into the supernatural. Sorry, I'm just not into the supernatural. It's not my cup of tea. You don't have to backbite. You don't have to say nasty things about the person. I see it too often in chat rooms. And I guess that's part of why I kind of am happy that I was given the honor of being a mod in so many of these chat rooms, is that, they'll start picking at the guest speaker, whoever that might be. Whether it be me and Ghost Dragon, or Dave Scott and Jane Doe. Okay. And they start picking at him, going, well, I think that's a load of bullshit. And is that really necessary? Or can you just say, you know what? Not for me. Sorry, I don't believe that. And just be done with it, instead of adding all of the nastiness to it. So, okay, off of that soapbox. I'm going to be looking at how I might want to do things differently with the show, what I do with all of you. Some of it I will keep the same, as far as when I do, the living paranormally, and we sit down and I light the incense and we do the candle and make it a nice, calm, relaxing space. I've lit so much sage and tallow over the last few weeks. I may run out. Not really, but you know what I mean. But I'd like to get suggestions from all of you. So, do you like it when, say, for instance, I'm going to show this off, when I pull a card for the collective and give you my intuitive reading for like the next 2 weeks? And what I could even do is I could expand on something like that, and maybe I make it a larger section and pull 3 cards. Okay. And talk about, okay, this is what I see the people in our community going through. This is what I see the people outside of our community going through. And, maybe this is an overview of the two combined. I can do that kind of thing. Absolutely. Because when it comes down to it, when I'm pulling card, I'm not reading the card, I'm reading the energy. I'm using this as a quote trigger object to help me to tap into it. So, let me know. Is that something that would interest all of you? How about, or do I do something similar on, a special stream where, like how Gemma does her um, stories about different people and paranormal experiences and so on. Maybe I do one that's just on, like, folklore, for instance. I've always been, fascinated by, especially Irish folklore, but, Celtic folklore in general, the ancient pantheons, the different deities, gods and goddesses. Maybe I do a special segment where I teach you guys about for a few, a month or whatever. Okay, this month we'll do the Egyptians. This month we'll do the Greeks. This month we'll do something else. Give me some ideas of what you would like from me as far as content. Um, I'm going to be looking at the possibility of pre-recording some stuff. Gemma and I talked. She's going to help me kind of walk me through what she does when she does her shorter pre-records. And then, like Neil, for instance, I was going to talk to him since he does a lot of his stuff pre-recorded on his phone. He even does live using his phone, that kind of thing. Um, and so I'd like to get an idea of, maybe what would you like to see? Would you like me to take you around Los Alamos, take you up in the mountains? Um, so just give me some ideas of what appeals to you as a viewer. Um, and well, I know that there's a lot of you that email Gemma, um, and let her know what you think about shows and so on and so forth. You can contact me easy enough. My email, Ghost Dragons. I'm sure we'll pop it in the chat at some point, but we'll make sure, it's in the description of most, if not all, of the videos that I've done over here. But this, when it comes down to it, this is my little space. Okay. And sort of my living room. I'd love to have you tell me what you'd like to do. I appreciate it. So, with that said, I thank you, Aunt Emma. Love you, darling. Hope that your body is treating you more kindly. Um, Pray for each other if that's what you do. Um, call upon God. Call upon your angels. Call upon Mother Earth. Call upon the universe. And send each other good thoughts. You know, third eye, that focus of prayer, that act of prayer, um, however you define it, has in fact, your good thoughts have an effect, the same as your bad ones do. And remember that people like me, people like Gemma, even Stephen, we can read your energy. I won't go reading a person. Love you, dear. But I'll, you know, reading a person's energy is like looking at what color shirt you're wearing that day. When you're somebody like me, when you're somebody like Gemma, and so on. So I can tell whether your vibration is good or your vibration isn't so good. See if we can raise those vibrations. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Know that even though it's still going to be hit and miss, if all works out, I will be here again in 2 weeks. If things are hectic, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I need to take care of my own body and rest and recover, I haven't gone away. I'm still here. I love you all. Love and light, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye, everyone.